यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातिरावनचारी शिशिखोरंताय मायापुर शशि की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। Reading from Srila Prabhupada's abridged version of the Lilamrita. Prabhupada, he built a house in which the whole world can live. So, chapter entitled Struggling Alone. Then we sat and talked, and I liked him a lot right away. This is Howard Smith continuing. I mean, I would met a lot of other Swamis, and I didn't like them too much. And I don't think it's fair to lump them all together and say, those Swamis in India. Because he was very, very basic, and that's what I seem to like about him. He not only made me feel at ease, but he seemed very open and honest, like he asked my advice on things. He was very new in the country. I thought his idea stood a good chance of taking hold, but he seemed so because he seemed so practical. His head didn't seem in the clouds. He wasn't talking in mysticism every third word. I guess that is where his soul was at. But that isn't where his normal conversational consciousness was at. Then he said several people had told him that the voice would be a very good place to be written up, and that basically it would reach the kind of people who already perhaps had a leaning or interest in what he was preaching. And I said that I thought he was correct. He asked me if I had read any books or knew anything about Indian culture, and I said no, I didn't really. We talked a little, and he explained to me that he had these books in English that he had already translated in India. And he handed those to me and said, if you want more background, you can read this. It was obvious to me that I was not talking to some fellow who had just decided that he had seen God and was going to tell people about it. He seemed to be an educated man, much more than myself, actually. And I liked his humbleness. I just plain liked the guy. He explained everything I wanted to know, the significance of what he was wearing, the mark on his forehead, the bead bag, and I liked all his explanations. Everything was very practical. Then he talked about temples all over the world, and he said, well, we have got a long way to go, but I'm very patient. Shishikorantai Mayapur Sashi ki. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashya Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, and Text 7. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Janma koti amsaham api. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara nivivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Please chant.
Ayam vikrita nivesho, ayam vikrita nivesho, janma kotyam sam api, yad vijaya vivaso, nana swastyanam hare. Ayam vikrita nirvesho, janma kotyam samati,
Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Vaishnavis. Ayam hi krita. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Ayam hi krita nirvesho. Janma koti amhasam api. Yad vyajahara vivasho. Nama swasti ayanam hare. Ayam, this person, Ajamil. He indeed. Krita nirvishesha. Has undergone all kinds of atonement. Janma, of births. Koti, of millions. Amhasam, for the sinful activities. Api, even. Yat, because. Vyajahara, he has chanted. Vivasha, in a helpless condition. Nama, the holy name. Swasti ayanam, the means of liberation. Hare, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ajamil had already atoned for all his sinful actions Indeed, he has atoned not only for sins performed in one life, but for those performed in millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, he chanted the holy name of Narayan. Even though he did not chant purely, he chanted without offense, and therefore he is now pure and eligible for liberation. Purport. The Yamdutas had considered only the external situation of Ajamil. Since he was extremely sinful throughout his life, they thought he should be taken to Yamraj and did not know that he had become free from the reactions of all his sins. The Vishnu Dutas therefore instructed that because he had chanted the 4 syllables of the name Narayan at the time of his death, he was freed from all sinful reactions. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verses from Smriti Shastra. Namno hi yavati shakti papa nirharane hare tavat kartum na shaknoti patakam pataki nara. Simply by chanting one holy name of Hari, a sinful man can counteract the reactions to more sins than he is able to commit. Brihad Vishnu Purana. Aveshenapi yan namni kirtite sarva patake puman vimuchyate sadhya simha traster mriger iva. If one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in a helpless condition or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life depart. Just as when a lion roars, all the small animals flee in fear. Garuda Purana. Sakrit Ucharitam Yenam Harir iti Akshara Dvayam Baddha Parikarastena Mokshaya Gamanam Prati. By once chanting the holy name of the Lord, which consists of the 2 syllables Hari, one guarantees his path to liberation. Skanda Purana. These are some of the reasons why the Vishnu Dutas objected to the Yamadutas taking Ajamil to the court of Yamraj. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shiksharthameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharir Kripam Buddhirya Tamaham Prapadye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinataranam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Very nice verse, very nice passage in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ajamil's pastime. And actually we'll find throughout studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll find nothing but the mercy of Krishna, the mercy of the Lord, the arrangement of the Lord. And it's so unique, it's so particular, the way sweetly it's been arranged for each and every living entity actually, for their ultimate interest, for their ultimate benefit, which is engagement in the eternal loving devotional service of the Lordship. So we find many situations, circumstances, or some passages come in our life wherein there is a direct divine intervention or a opportunity to actually take into Krishna consciousness, and more so an opportunity to fix up oneself in Krishna consciousness. Such was the instance for Ajamil as well. He helplessly, without thinking of Lord Narayan, he chanted the name of Lord Narayan. And such is like Vastu Shakti, the potency of the holy name of the Lord. Like devotees explain, even if someone, say, comes in contact with electricity, then doesn't matter the person, has he paid the bill, electricity bill, or not paid the bill. Doesn't matter if he has paid the bill, but still he's going to get the shock. Likewise, if someone comes in contact with fire, doesn't matter if someone has paid the council bill, gas bill, but still if someone happens to touch fire, then it's bound to get burned. So this is Vastu Shakti, which doesn't discriminate, which doesn't see, oh, is he a local person or a foreigner, or how much actually does he respect me or does not respect me and all. And such is the magnanimity. Such is the magnanimity of the holy name of Krishna. It doesn't actually see, discriminate. Oh, is he a good person or a bad person? Is he a devotee-oriented person or not a devotee-oriented person? And imagine if this condition was put in there, who would actually be claiming to be eligible? Who could say that yes, no, such and such person is actually eligible to chant the holy names of Krishna? Especially in this fallen age of Kali Yuga, no one is eligible. This is why this is the special Yuga, the special appearance of Mahaprabhu. This is Mahaprabhu's Yuga. Depends, for a devotee it is Mahaprabhu's Yuga. For someone it could be Ghor Kali Yuga, proper Kali Yuga going on. But for a devotee, one who comes across the mood of Mahaprabhu, the mission of Mahaprabhu, the message of Mahaprabhu, the teachings, then he should constantly meditate and see how fortunate his position is. That in this special age, Prabhu is appearing and giving us the holy name freely. Freely. The only thing is we have to develop that faith. We have to build upon that faith. How to develop that faith, how to build upon that faith is by taking good association, by taking inspiring association. Fortunate are those people who get an opportunity in life to remorse or repent or atone, as here it says in translation. Jamil has already atoned for all his sinful actions. So the potency of practicing devotional service is so strong, it's so strong. When one starts in the initial kind of time of his practicing Krishna consciousness devotional service, there would be a genuine, say, remorse or repentance or atonement coming about. That I already in my current lifestyle, in my current life, say, someone could be practicing from the age of 15, bodily age of 15 or 20 or whenever. One should genuinely feel this remorse, okay, these many years in my life, actually I wasted, I have already lost them. I didn't actually make any good use of it. And from this life itself, I'm carrying so many impressions now, so many desires, haunted by so many desires and aims and aspirations, worldly aims and aspirations. So when one comes into devotional service, starts practicing Krishna consciousness, this, because the potency, the beauty, the sublimity, and the joy in chanting the holy name of Krishna, joy in practicing Krishna consciousness is something out of this world, is something transcendental. And the process is so powerful, the blessings of the acharyas, being blessed by the acharyas. So us living entities coming from various, say, colorful backgrounds before coming into Krishna consciousness and having whatnot sort of desires, actions and all, everything. But practicing Krishna consciousness, there's such a, like, say, a glimpse of transcendence that one would naturally awaken this attitude of remorse, of crying out. And this is what Ajamil here. He wasn't to be told actually. No, he knew that he had gone wrong in life. And when he had the darshan of the Vishnu Dutas, that having the darshan, the very darshan of the Vishnu Dutas in itself was a claim, a declaration for him that he is going to be saved. So Ajamil then atoned for all his sinful actions. Yeah. And so beautifully, Padre Prabhu had the other day shared with us that atonement meaning, like in Christian theology, and the word itself is to become one with the God, at one with the will of the God, to understand the desire of the God. What is the desire? What is the will of the God? Or to gain our, say, acceptance in the trust deed of the Lord. Krishna loves us. Krishna loves us unconditionally. Everyone, every living entity. But question is, can he trust us? That is the thing. Can he really put his trust upon us? And this is why practicing devotional service, we try to take the shelter of the eternal potency of Krishna. No. We try to take the shelter of the internal potency of Krishna, and we get purification, we get devotees' blessings, and then yes, Krishna becomes more, say, restless, or expectation builds up for him, as in, okay, in this life, now can I put my trust upon him? Now can I put my trust upon him? Love is there throughout. It doesn't matter if one is practicing, not practicing, and all. Krishna is looking after everyone. That care, concern, shelter is there for everyone. So, life, blessed are again, those are blessed who get an opportunity in life to remorse, to atone, to create a momentum. To create a momentum. Again, it is a blessed opportunity for someone to create that shift or that momentum. So Ajamil, he knew that, okay, he had gone wrong, a big time deviation in his practice, in his lifestyle and all. But now coming the Vishnu Dutas, they enlighten him. They enlighten him, which creates a natural remorse for him and a natural momentum for him to sin no more. Yeah, beautiful teachings we learn from Bible, from Christ as well. It says like, okay, sin no more. So we all are, yeah, born in ignorance, na? We all are sinners. We all are born in ignorance. Magyantimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. So chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri guruvai namah. So we all are born in darkness. We all carry low energy. But it is coming across devotees now that we get a glimpse of enlightenment, understanding of enlightenment. And then is not to go back into our, say, old habits, old lifestyle, material thought process, and material attachments, carrying material attachments and all. Now, for a devotee, should be the way forward on the way to Krishna. So, blessed again are those who have this opportunity to create momentum in life. And these momentums and shifts help us to stabilize our position, our faith, our practice in Krishna consciousness, and build it up from there. And the holy name of Krishna is so powerful, like we hear in purport and translations. We cannot imagine, a person cannot imagine the amount of sins actually, like there's no imagination. But again, on our part, we do not chant the holy names of Krishna to purify ourselves from sins or get that free of that stock. No. The aspiration of any sadhaka for chanting the holy name of Krishna is to invoke that compassionate mercy of Krishna. That should be the only aspiration. Otherwise, this world is full of duality only. And since eternity, we have been stuck up with good or bad reaction, good reaction or bad reaction. But this time, we should go into understanding what is pure loving devotional service. So Ajamil, even though he didn't mean to actually chant the name of Krishna, call out the name of Krishna, but on his part, he chanted without offense. He expressed his dependence, chanted in a helpless condition. Now, in this material world, who can say, okay, I'm chanting in, I can chant not in a helpless condition? We all live in a very precarious situation, very precarious condition situation. Material world means the future is unknown. We do not know what lies there tomorrow, what will come. Even today, for the rest of the day, what could come about. So who can, this is like treading on a thin ice. So who can actually claim or say, oh no, my life is all right. Or I can easily chant without being in a helpless condition because I'm not in a helpless condition. That is illusion, that is Maya to consider, to think that I'm not in a helpless situation. And this is when the real expression of love will come about, when we chant in a helpless condition, when we chant in a more in a surrendered way, when we engage in reading, hearing, chanting completely in a dependent state. And that is where the real joy lies. To actually experience that, yes, I am under the care and shelter, the dependence of Krishna and his devotees. Krishna also enjoys the highest joy when he puts himself under the care and shelter of his devotees. And this is what pure devotees, they are completely living under the internal potency of Krishna. So, coming into Krishna consciousness, it is not then a question of how much karmic reactions or say sins. It is more a question of re-establishing our identity relationship with Krishna. That thing, to awaken our dormant that relationship with Krishna. So how can I even more strongly, progressively, clearly strengthen my sambandha, my relationship with Krishna, by engaging in devotional service? So it doesn't become a question of actually as such of sin or purifying ourselves from sin. And this is why when we chant the holy names of Krishna worldwide in temples before going into japa session, so the offenses towards the holy names are read about for a regular daily reminder for us, so that we understand what is the holy name of Krishna, what the holy name is actually wanting to offer us, wanting to offer us. So this is an opportunity for us to actually understand that we are living entity, we are a spirit soul. So we live like a spirit soul. The constitutional position of a living entity, of a spirit soul, is to love and serve Krishna. And when we start loving and serving Krishna, we will, by the blessings of devotees, come to a position wherein we will want to unconditionally, unmotivatedly love and serve Krishna. Lots of teachings and learnings to take from the life of Ajamil. For him, actually, this was the divine will and the arrangement of Krishna. He happened to receive the holy name of Krishna in his life. And for us, by the blessings of devotees go out in the streets, where not and all, and preach. They chant the holy names of Krishna, they distribute the holy names of Krishna, they distribute literature, prasadam and all, everything. So for us, it is a direct open call actually to take into the chanting of the names of Krishna. But again, our position is so precarious. Everything is actually kind of laid out or served or given on a plate for us. The only thing is we need to honor it. And that is where the struggle lies as well. We don't carry that bare minimum of faith or that bit of faith. And the blockage is offenses. Offenses are a big blockage. Offenses known, unknown in this life itself, and offenses from previous lives. Those are the big blockages. So for someone to progress in devotional service, it is not the sinful reaction that's a big impediment. It is actually the offensive mentality or offenses that are a big impediment. And this is where Ajamil, he chanted without offense. He chanted without offense. So for us as well, we should try to pray. We should try to pray sincerely. Whatever inspiration from wherever we can gain, so that we can chant offenselessly. We should actually try and see devotees as genuine Vaishnavas, taking off any material identity, and that these are the representatives of Krishna, and they are going to help me take me all the way to Goloka. When we start actually seeing devotees as, yes, these are someone who belong to the Krishna club, say, they belong to the internal potency of Krishna, they belong to a community where everyone is like dedicated to loving and serving Krishna. So when we see, yes, these are Krishnas, just like see, so much conditioning we are actually carrying on, in the sense when we go out to the streets distributing books and Harinam, for it is observed for a person who is watching on the other side, for him or her, they don't, it is very easy for them to call and say, oh, there comes the Hare Krishnas. These are the Hare Krishnas. So they do not even know Hare Krishna or what, but they know, okay, these are the Hare Krishnas. They belong to the Hare Krishna sect, or these are Krishnas. Oh, your Krishnas people were there and all. So seeing us in our Vaishnava attire, chanting, distributing books and all, yes, they take us as we are someone representative of Krishnas. But living in the company of devotees, it might occur that we might struggle to see other devotees as, okay, he or she is a Hare Krishna, representative of Krishna. We might struggle with that because we bring in so much of conditioning or a material thought process. So, sinful reactions are not that strong an impediment as this offensive mentality. And everything is for us to elevate us, help us out. The way the process is laid out 24 hours a day, waking up early in the morning since dawn and till dusk, night time. The way it is laid out, the teachings of Mahaprabhu is all for us to, in this life, at least build up a strong faith, a very genuine, pure faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. Then elsewhere in Bhagavatam we hear different sins, pataka, tipataka, mahapataka, 4 different types of sins also we hear and all. But for a devotee practicing Krishna consciousness, Kali Yuga doesn't actually touch him. Kali Yuga doesn't touch him, the effect of Kali Yuga. He is outside of the radar of Kali Yuga. And we have to imbibe, we have to bring ourselves in the radar, actually the proper radar of Krishna consciousness. So everything is nicely given, even the 4 regulative principles, the broad pillars for sinful activities. So now thing is, how can we actually grow? Not only at gross level, following the 4 regulative principles at gross level, okay, because of being blessed by devotee association in the practice and association of devotees. Shishikorantai Mayapur Sashiki. So, following the 4 regulative principles, yes, we adopt that lifestyle and it comes about. the potency of Krishna consciousness. And then we should, at not only just at gross level, at subtle level, even beyond, be completely immune actually to these four regulative principles. Then only we can experience some divinity in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Okay, on this note, maybe I'll give you peace. Any question, comments, or reflections or clarifications, please? Yes, bro.
Who was saying that there's three stages of japa. One is preparing, and then the japa itself, and then how you conduct yourself outside of the japa. And the third stage, the impact on your next japa session. So you get a chance to practice the qualities you're supposed to be developing. So that's also sadhana.
And this is through their realization, their experience, that the 2 hour of japa is nothing but it should be preparing or helping us for the remainder 22 hours. How can I be in remembrance of Krishna? And for a genuine practitioner, a genuine sadhaka, a devotee, a blessed devotee, the 22 hours, the rest 22 hours, he will try to protect himself and try to safeguard himself, so that again creating that momentum in that 22 hours, creating that momentum that next day morning, when do I go to Mangalarti? When do I attend Mangalarti? When do I chant the holy names of Krishna? Throughout we see so much of blessings actually. In the morning hours, from 5:15 till 7, devotees are blessed to be having given this opportunity and platform wherein they can come peacefully and chant the holy names of Krishna, wherein practically the whole of, say, world in this time zone, in each country we say, practically the whole of, most of, majority of the world is actually in sleep. For many, that is the time for good sleep actually. Huh? But for us, we have been blessed. Wherever we go in within the community of devotees, ISKCON temples, we'll find the facility, the arrangement that one can come and chant peacefully in the morning hours. But again, our precarious situation is everything is there, but I'm not able to align myself. I'm not able to fit myself in. But this is where again, no struggle, no joy. It's the struggle in devotional service as well, yeah. No struggle, no joy. We carry so many problems. No? One problem with us conditioned souls, or one problem with us human beings is we always try to act smart. We always try to act smart. Again, Bhagavatam wants us to be intelligent or wants us to be smart. But we will read in Bhagavatam, in different passages, it says adequately intelligent or sufficiently intelligent. Adequately or sufficiently intelligent. But we want to be too intelligent. And someone wanting to be too intelligent is not a good sign. So, if say we were not struggling in Krishna consciousness, then what? We would be like, okay, it's Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I got it sorted within 6 months. It's under my belt now. It's in my pocket now. I've got it. What next? What more? Oh, this is it. I know this. I know that. I know. So this struggle is actually a blessing of Krishna. Again, we do not know how much love we have in store for Krishna actually. We do not know. And all this struggle is the blessing of Krishna to help us find that treasure of love we possess for Krishna. Or how much actually glorification we genuinely should be possessing for devotees. Yes, sir.
In the story of Ashima, it looks like because he wasn't aware that he was doing sinful things, then you're better situated and not knowing too much, because the more you get to know, then the more you can make offenses. So that would seem like it wouldn't seem like incentive to want to learn, you're thinking, the less I know, the better.
Yeah, so again, we coming into practicing Krishna consciousness, you may have this tendency to again act smart, right? Or had I not known, it would have been better. Why did devotees tell me of this regulative principles or this thing? I would have chanted and gone on doing sort of things and all, whatever. So this is the difference between, say, sin and offense. Sin is like, okay, in one's lack of knowledge. But offense is more like consciously. Yeah, consciously. So this is why in our Vaishnava prayers as well, Acharyas explain, and Acharyas, they are pure devotees. They just give that it is their humility, it is their sheer humility. So, Janiya Suniya Vishekhainu. Janiya Suniya, knowingly. So, again, see, so many learnings from Ajamil's pastime, every pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is a fact of life. It is a fact of life. What? That Maya never catches a living entity. It is the living entity who goes and adopts Maya, who catches Maya. So like in a showroom, there could be a car showroom. So the car never calls out, car never beeps or honks or says that, okay, come, I'm here, I'm for sale as well, and I will give you this much discount. No, car doesn't say. It's just the car is there, just nicely designed and kept outside, cleaned, whitewashed, and everything. And some tags and something would be written. Now it is the living entity goes and adopts, goes and buys in or takes. Even in Ajamil's case, he saw the Shudra and Shudrani embracing each other, and he went forward. He went forward. So Maya does only two things predominantly: to tempt us or to test us. That's what Maya done with Ajamil as well. Tempted him and tested him. The problem with Ajamil, he didn't take higher association. He didn't take higher association. He didn't go for a japa retreat. And at that time, he gone for a japa retreat, higher association, chanting 64 rounds and beyond and all, or constantly engaged, as Raghunath Rao so nicely said yesterday. Always and always. So, throughout, 24 hours a day, and through whatever means and all. So, Ajamil didn't do that. So, when he was tested or tempted, he gave in. And again, it is not for us to say about Ajamil, his faults or where did he fall and all. No, it is for personally for me to actually check and invite in my life. Yes,
The comment by Kat, she says, I really like the way you describe the tournament as a blessed opportunity to create change and momentum, to go forward to Krishna rather than our past habits and material desires. It can be so difficult to do, but like you said, if we have a strong spiritual foundation with good japa in the morning, it becomes easier to make the correct choices. Thank you for describing this so nicely. Haribol.
So, what separates, say, a materialist and a spiritualist is the association, is the everything, the main factor. Like Harinam again, London Harinam, it's like the meeting of two different worlds coming together. Two different worlds coming together. But we are here, why? Because some kind devotee went out in the streets distributing books, Harinam and all. We are here because of that reason. So it is not on our worth actually, it is on all by the efforts of devotees. Prabhupada took that pain. Yeah. So it is all by the efforts of those devotees. And this is where it is very easy to give in and go back to our say, old habits. But how to maintain that inspiration, that stamina, that courage to actually say no to the wrong thing and say yes to the right thing. So there has to be a good spiritual foundation, a good, genuine, proper spiritual practice. It's not like, okay, I now wake up in the morning and I take shower in the morning. So someone is becoming spiritual, very holy. Uh, or someone like, yes, I water my plants in the summertime, I will do it very nicely. There has to be a spiritual practice, means someone which connects the living entity with the supreme being, with the universe, with the supreme, with the divinity. So there has to be a process, there has to be a structure built around it. Yes, sir.
I think another very powerful point in the story is that the mood with which he was chanting benefited him so much. Even it was without understanding at that point, was addressing something else, it's a different motivation, but just the fact that he was chanting helplessly and the word Orion was coming out of his mouth, giving this unbelievable tremendous benefit that we should do the Shiva. And you mentioned the word, the importance of struggle in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it can be like discouraging or something, but actually, when you sit down to chant japa, if you can find, instead of feeling apathic or that everything is fine, etc., find actually the reason why you're struggling, and then call with that helplessness for Krishna's help. That is very, very powerful japa.
Mm.
Rather than just kind of everything is fine, I'm okay, and just kind of chanting this apathic, unconscious state.
Devotees actually should always encourage and take this opportunity wherever possible to go for Harinam. It's a sublime experience, sublime experience. When the movement started with Harinam, Prabhupada went out in the garden, in the park, he chanted, and also we should follow him, we should follow him. See, life is meant to take in experiences. So many experiences we take, this experience, that sort of experience, going for this diving, going for the logs, and so many such things. So why not take this experience as well of going into Harinam? And this is every devotee's say assurance. When one goes into Harinam, doesn't matter whatever problems we are going with into Harinam. So many things going in our head, job related, finance related, health related, relationships related, what all. But when we go into Harinam, it's like entering into a different zone altogether. And the beauty again, after the Harinam, it is not like we come back to square one where we were and all. No, no, we don't fall back actually. We get a lot of inspiration and encouragement to actually push forward a bit. And then that nature within ourselves. Likewise, japa. Anytime if one sits chanting doing japa, yeah, such a powerful mechanism. See, we struggle many times with physical association of devotees. Hmm? All of us, many are not so blessed actually to be living in temple, so that can get direct deity darshan and all. But being back, everyone and devotee is blessed actually to have a beat bag. And just the only inspiration one needs to is find a place, sit down, put your hand in the beat bag and chant. And once we chant 2 rounds, 1 round or 2 round, that 1 or 2 round in itself will take us to 4 round, to 6 round. Though it doesn't matter if our mind is not in the japa, but if we repeatedly call out the names of Krishna, we will find yes. And then 6 round, 8 round, everything will come about when we start chanting. And it's a genuine. Everyone should and will develop actually a genuine appreciation and genuine glorification for the holy name, for the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, there are so many traps throughout. Where do we escape ourselves? There's no actually an escape. And also many times it may appear that the grass looks greener on the other side. In the sense, oh, Ajamil, look, he had a lucky stroke. He had a lucky stroke, a good stroke of luck on his side. But for ourselves, we cannot see how lucky we are. We are actually very lucky to be in the association of devotees, read, chant, and engage in devotional service. Now it is that expression showing that to Mahaprabhu, yes, Mahaprabhu, we have been very made blessed, we have been made lucky by your devotees. And then that will give us that inspiration, motivation to continue forward, continue forward. And if we march and if we continue forward, we'll find doors opening, more and more inspiration coming. Why not? We cannot afford, we are carrying low energy, but we cannot afford to be continuing with that low energy. So, whatever my mind brings in, we have to find a solution. The sweet solution is chanting the holy names of Krishna. Very sweet. The name of Krishna itself is sweeter than sweetness, the source of all sweetness. We do not know how much nectar is there in the name of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, so much agitated, say, wanting to experience this sweetness in the names of Krishna, in his own holy names, appeared as Mahaprabhu and danced and chanted the holy names of Krishna. Where there is the opportunity to have every day as a celebration? Where is that opportunity? And Krishna consciousness gives that opportunity, that platform, wherein every day we can actually make it as a celebration. And especially those who are blessed to actually have been be living in temple community. Community means, this is what community means, coming all together and sharing that bond, that motivation, that inspiration, helping each other out, growing together. So that facility, blessed are those who actually living in temples and being given that opportunity. And then outside of temple, wherever we go, we have to carry that Krishna consciousness and pass on that Krishna consciousness. Pass on that Krishna consciousness. This is a society of compassionate souls. Compassionate souls. We can never forget that why we are here, because some kind devotee was on the streets distributing and all. So now we have to pass on that pattern as well. Okay, thank you very much for your patience listening and engagement. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanandi.
Bhakta Shri Prabhu ki